Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where experts in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is breathwork and life coach Christine Hart-Savage, and the topic we'll be discussing is feeling lost and the soul connection. Welcome, Christine.
It's lovely to be back, Megan. Thank you.
Christine, how would you define feeling lost for our viewers?
That is one of my favourite subjects because I spent most of my life feeling lost, or this feeling of yearning. I was always looking for something else. When I was a child, I used to drive my parents nuts because I asked them, who was I before I was born? Where do we go when we die? I don't know. You know, there's got to be something else, and they didn't know how to answer these questions. So I tended to suppress them. But I've always yearned, always thought about life since I was very little. There has to be something else. We can't just appear on earth and then disappear. There has to be more to it. And I spent my life really thinking about this and yearning for this other connection, and I didn't even know what I was looking for. But I did find it through my breakdown, through starting to have to turn within myself. I started to open up another part to myself. But one of my earlier experiences, a girlfriend of mine asked me to a particular meditation group when I was about 24, and I'd never been. And we had our little children in a creche there, and we went in to this particular place, and I was a bit confronted by it because there were some people there in like orange gowns and shaved heads, and I thought, what is going on here? And I was really quite daunted by it because I didn't understand that world. So we went in and we were sitting on a wooden floor, and there was this particular young woman taking the class, and she was leading us through this, what I called a relaxation. So firstly, she said to us, look, lay down now. And I laid down, and as soon as I laid down and I was listening to her voice, I started to relax. And suddenly there was a big tunnel, and I was moving through this tunnel, and I felt like I was moving very, very fast, but there was no resistance or anything like wind or anything like that, but moving fast. And when I looked up, there was this blazing light at the top, and I became frightened because I thought, oh, what happens when I go through the end of that tunnel? Will I die? And as soon as I had that thought, bang, it disappeared. And as soon as I relaxed again, it appeared again, and I was travelling through this tunnel. Now, I didn't tell anybody about this experience because I thought it was very weird. So the next week we went back, and the following week we were going through these same type of exercise she was leading us through, and we were sitting cross-legged on the floor, and suddenly, this is going to sound weird, but it's the truth. I had this little, like an umbilical cord coming out of my own belly button with a tiny little embryo floating in the air. And I thought, oh my goodness, I opened my eyes, it was there. I closed my eyes and it was there. And it just stayed with me the whole time. And when we finished the session, we were speaking to, they were swamis, I found out later. We were speaking to the swamis, and I told them about my two experiences. And they said, that's not fair. We've been meditating for years and we haven't had those experiences. I didn't ever go back because I was frightened of what I experienced at that time. So going forward, when I went through my really dark night of the soul, my challenging time in my relationship, I had difficulties with my children, and my marriage broke up, and I had that breakdown. I had a breakdown. I went back into learning meditation and discovering and uncovering that part of myself. And lo and behold, back came this, what I now know is the tube of light that comes down around you, which forms this incredible tunnel that is part of us. It's a tunnel of light, and we're all connected to this. But I had a lot of experiences that happened that I did not understand, Megan. And I'm sure there's our viewers out there that are having experiences off and on that they don't understand either, or they may be yearning for that connection. So the emptiness I was feeling suddenly started to fill and became a feeling of connection, a feeling of belonging that I had never felt before I went through these experiences. So the yearning started to disappear, the emptiness started to disappear. And I think that spiritual connection, that soul connection as I call it, fills that emptiness inside. And what I've realised is that we are a part of something much greater and much more magnificent than we realise. I started to realise there's so much more to us than we know. And this has been a continuous journey over the last 35 years of me really unfolding these deeper layers, because we're eternal. There's these eternal layers of wisdom and knowledge that is inside us. And it keeps opening and opening and opening to this wonderful, wonderful knowledge, this incredible wisdom once it is integrated into our body.
Christine, if the viewers and I are interested in connecting with our soul, what do you recommend?
Well, definitely to start meditating daily, because in that harmony and peace that you eventually get to, at first you won't experience that. You'll experience a busy mind, but we have to stick with it. Eventually you'll have pockets of sinking into yourself and experiencing a lovely calm and peace and harmony. When we're in that, this energy starts to flow through us. So that when we do enough of that, we start to develop in a different way. We expand, our consciousness expands, our wisdom expands. The other thing I'd like to touch on here, if I may, Megan, is that I had this wake-up call also that I wasn't necessarily fixed. We're not fixed. That I had the ability and the intelligence we're all given to look at who I'm choosing to be in life. I didn't have to be how I was. I could choose it. I could choose my thoughts. I could choose the way I wanted to feel, and I could choose my actions and my delivery in life and lead my life rather than being just blown around by life itself, because every day we could do that and just react and start looking within, because everything we need is inside us.
Christine, that's such fantastic information. If you'd like to know more about feeling lost in the soul connection and Christine Hart-Savage, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll have another interesting guest with another interesting topic.
After the break, lymphologist Sean Connell is talking about ways to improve your immune system, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and next we have Sean Connell back with us, who's a lymphologist, and today he's talking about the immune system. So welcome back, Sean.
Thank you.
And the immune system today, so can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so our immune system is our white blood cells. So our immune system actually starts at our coccyx bone. Our coccyx bone vibrates and that pumps our bone marrow. And then all the bone marrow make the white blood cells, and the white blood cells get sent to our thymus gland right in the middle of the chest to make the T cells, killer T cells, and all the things that will run around and clean up all the viruses and bacteria and the unwanted things in our body that are upsetting our immune system. So a lot of people rub Vicks on their chest and they think it's for the smell, but it's not. It's for the thymus gland, which is your immune system.
Can you tell us a bit more about how the immune system works?
Okay, so when we have inflammation in the body, there's no oxygen. Now the challenge with that is the white blood cells need oxygen to run around and clean up all the cancer, the viruses and the bacteria, the things that aren't supposed to be there. So when we have inflammation in the body, the immune system's not working in that area. So what your cells will actually do is, because there's no oxygen, the cell is technically off because it needs oxygen to work. So what the cell will do is go into spontaneous firing, creating heat. So it'll use heat to try and kill the bacteria, the viruses and the cancer that's not supposed to be there. So this is why your body gets a fever. So every degree that you increase the temperature in your body is doubling your immune system. So it's doubling the white blood cells to get into that area and clean up all the unwanted bacteria, viruses and the germs that are not meant to be there.
We have germs and parasites and things in our bodies all the time, is that correct?
That's right. We have to live in harmony with those. So when they get out of balance, our immune system will just go in there and clean that up. Also, a lot of people don't realise that we have 1 million bugs in us. So a lot of Lyme's disease out there at the moment, people suffering. So when there's lack of oxygen, those bugs wake up. So the oxygen keeps them asleep. So when they wake up, they're hungry, so they want to eat. So they actually start to eat us, and that's where all the challenges come from. So increase that oxygen, that'll put the bugs back to sleep, that'll boost your immune system back up, and everything's back to normal.
So Sean, when you talk about the oxygen and the white cells, how can we increase the oxygen in our body?
Well, the oxygen's coming from the bloodstream, and so when there's inflammation in the body, there's no oxygen in that area. So the only way to remove that inflammation is through the lymphatic system. So we have to remove that inflammation out of the body. Then the oxygen can get to the cells, and then the white blood cells can clean everything up, and our metabolism can turn on, which creates the energy, and this is why health is energy.
And you talked before, I know, about the four different ways of increasing the oxygen, is that correct?
So yeah, there's 4 ways to activate the lymphatic system. So deep breathing, bouncing, stroking and energy. So when the lymphatic system's moving, that'll move the inflammation and dead cells, toxins away from the cells, and then more oxygen can get to the cells. So when there's more oxygen around the cells, the white blood cells can work, and they'll just go around and clean up all the cancer, the viruses, the bacteria, the things that aren't supposed to be there.
So Sean, what would your best advice for our viewers to be around the immune system?
Well, we must keep the lymphatic system moving to remove that inflammation out of the body so we can get more oxygen into the cells. So when there's more oxygen there, the white blood cells can go around and clean everything up. Also, our stomach acid is so important. So we need the proper stomach acid so we can have a proper immune system. Also, there's a gene that we work with, the MTHFR gene. So if that's not working properly, which 50% of the population around the world have a dysfunction with this gene. So this gene helps make the T cells and natural killer T cells that help clean up our body as well. Vitamins and very, very important. So vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin D3. We must keep on top of that with good nutrition. So, and also health is energy. So the more energy we have, the more health we have, and then the body can regenerate and work the way it's supposed to. And we have a lot of new technology out there that really, really helps the body to increase that energy and remove that inflammation and allow the body to regenerate and heal itself. So yeah, and there's a lot of professionals out there now specialising in the lymphatic drainage and energy and how the body works and what we can do to make the body more healthy and regenerate and have a better life.
And as you said before, bring better balance.
Balance, yeah. Balance.
Thanks so much for that, Sean. And for more information about Sean Connell and the immune system, then please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll go to break and see you back afterwards with another wonderful guest. After the break, the integrative health and wellness expert Dr Zara Celik is talking about detoxing your life. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and we have Dr Zara Celik back with us today, our integrative health and wellness expert, and she's talking to us about detoxing your life. So, Dr Zara, what is detoxing your life?
Absolutely. So usually when we talk about detoxing life, people usually associate detoxification with a juice cleanse or a fasting experience that may try in their own daily lives. But it is more than that. When I talk about detoxing life, I'm referring to being mindful at mind, body, spiritual, environmental level, and even more. Because what we think, our thought process, what we say, is also contributing to how we feel, and also plays a role also what energy we create and radiate out in our environment, within ourselves and also in our workspace and with our loved ones. And of course, there's the detoxification of the physical body, which is, detoxing and giving a break to your organs. And, again, when it comes to detoxing at physical level, it is by individual. So I will encourage people to see what suits their needs, and to work on detoxing the physical body at that level. But having said that though, our body, our organs are always detoxing for us, but it is important that we support our detoxification organs. And, some of the organs that are involved in detoxification is our liver, our gut health, our gut itself, the digestive tract, our skin, skin pores, if they're open with sweating, and through the sweating we are also detoxing. So body is very intelligent at what it does on its own, but it is a great idea, something that I suggest people to really clean the skin clean. The skin pores are clean, so then the body is detoxing efficiently through the skin pores as well. It is also a good idea to pay attention how your digestive health is performing, like we did in our last interview, as well as how the liver is doing, and also are we having the right foods to take the load off the liver. Because liver loaders could be such as, alcohol or deep fatty fried foods. They can sort of add burden to the liver, which means the detoxification can become sluggish because liver is involved in physical detoxification process. And there is, of course, the lymphatic system when it comes to detoxing at the physical level. And the lymphatic system can need a bit of that boost time to time. So getting a nice regular lymphatic drainage massage can also help and support the lymphatic system as well as the physical detoxification system as well. And there's of course the environment that we work in, the environment that we live in. And we pay attention to, do we have enough greens in our environment to really help detox the air? Do we open our windows regularly to detox and clean the environment that we live in? Cosmetic products, personal care products come into play a role when it comes to detoxing our lives at environmental level. So the perfume that we put on, shampoos, deodorants, things like that, do they contain certain ingredients? They can disrupt our endocrine system. It can put a burden on the hormones and create that internal imbalance in the hormonal health. So that those sort of those will be the things that I will recommend people to pay attention when it comes to detoxing environment, as well as our cleaning products at home, in our kitchen, for our bathrooms. They could contain, toxins, even though we think that we're actually cleaning, it can actually then backfire on us as through the inhalation and through contact with the skin as well. But I always encourage, which is the big one, is to really pay attention to the mind, our thought process, not to hold resentment and to clear that, to balance the mind. And also not to judge, criticize, including ourselves, as well as not to be infatuate with others. So that the whole thing can create imbalance in the mind and also in the individual as well.
When you say infatuated with others, can you give us a little bit of clarity on that?
Absolutely. So it's like, you like someone so very much, you only see one side of them and you just admire that one side of them so much that you instantly want to become that individual. You want to live like that individual. And then that makes you not authentic, because you're not living your authentic self, you're not being your authentic self. And that can create imbalance in the mind and put us more in the immanent mind, and the transcendent mind can become imbalanced with the, in relation to our, immanent mind. So we want a good balance there, and to, really, as much as we can, to balance the mind, to operate from that transcendent mind, that creative mind, that authentic, objective mind.
So Zara, what would you say would be your top tip for our audience to take with them today?
Absolutely. So paying attention to mind, body, our thought process, our nutrition, our environment is very crucial. When it comes to, I just want to add in the nutrition, because I didn't say too much on that one. It is important that we take care of our liver and our gut. My favorite one is actually beetroot juice or beetroot salad, and also raw aloe vera. I consume that particularly personally myself. So the beetroot really helps to support the gut health, to move flush toxins out, as well as taking care of the liver. So the other thing will be pay attention to our clinic products at home, be very mindful of what our clinic products can actually create internally in our environment, and also what effect it can have on the external environment for the other livings in the ocean as well.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and detoxing your life, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll see Dr. Zara back next time on how to eliminate fatigue. Now we'll finish up for today, and we'll see you back next week with interesting guests and topics. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.